Hello and welcome to Catastrophe Crow. Today we are heading right on down to the computer room. Just warning you, this episode is probably going to have a lot of cuts. And for some reason, I think I mentioned it in the well episode, but while recording this game, for some reason the audio likes to really get out of desync and there's some freezing, and a lot of the time when that's happened before, I just re-record the segment, just split it into smaller videos, but I don't think I'll be doing that for this. So if there's lag or audio desync, yeah, because this is probably going to be the biggest episode to do. Now, something immediately to note, there's some oddities here. Pars menu has a little thing in it. The computer there has a portal on it. So, what do we do about that? Before we start investigating this in full, what do we do about these weird things? Well, if you were to go and press the R button, and then leave, immediately, everything's back to normal. The pause menu cursor is as it should be. And if we go back in here, the portal's gone. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be getting at with this computer. Now, let's actually investigate this other room. There is one single code that works. This is separate from the keyboard. You can input a single number code, although if you mistype it, zero is not in the code. Then, well, you have to leave and come back in and restart it. If we go over to these computers, they have a letter on them, but if we unpause and repause, it changes. Seems to be in a pattern. Go over here. Same thing, but with a different pattern. We'll come back to those at a later point. It'll probably be the shortest episode when we do that, but yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, knowing this keyboard, if we look at this computer, we can see something kind of familiar. It's the thing that shows up when you first start up the game. Now, let's go down and type R. Type R again, and come back up here. It forwarded a little. That's right. We have to find all of the code that fits in that little thing at the start and begin typing it. We have to type it all in here. It's not as hard as it sounds. You actually only have to type the first two lines with the in-game keyboard. Then it'll give you something that's a bit easier to type with. But, for now, what would happen if we pressed Q and came out? Game immediately restarts. Yep. That's what we're going to be dealing with here. Oh boy. Every single key does something different. And that's why there's going to be a lot of cuts. Yeah, you can already notice something kind of off. Whenever the game restarts, whether you reload the tab or you just manually restart it in game through a method like that, I don't think returning the title will do it. Then it kind of reshuffles the events that can happen here. Pressing R will always disable every event, so keep that in mind. But what happens if we press W? If we head out, well, nothing's immediately different. Nothing in the pause menu. But heading into the office here, if we go behind the painting, the well is gone. And that's not the only example. This already happened in my forest episode, but If we go over to where the well is, well, there's no well anywhere to be found. Yeah. These events can do anything, and we're gonna have some fun going through these. Oh, we are. Oh, crap. Alright. Back here, if we go for E, and yes, pressing R before the other key will, like, the events kind of stack, so pressing R before pressing another key will reset and activate the key. Go out. Well, it says echo effects we heard a few minutes ago. Oh, crap. If we go to T, though, going to T, heading into the forest, with T active, we see... Well, we actually don't see any trees. Only thing close to that are these big logs, but I wouldn't really count those. Even going up here, like, even those trees that have eyes that look at us, those are gone too. Really weird. And it's not just those. Because if we actually were to head to Toy World, because we're right there. Like, even if we head into Toy World, crap. Heading in here and to the left. Yeah, there's a tree around here. Yeah, this. That's the tree I use to mark this jump here. I look at a tree and go, yeah, that's where I need to jump off. Every tree in the game is just gone now while T is active. And now some simpler ones. Kind of. Ones that are just like, you know, less of a big confusing thing. Oh. There we go. I think the only thing R can't like reset on an accidental press is the Q key. The reset overrides it. But with Y active, we have some coordinates in the pause screen. Now, if we look at these, just look at them as we walk around, we'll see that they seem to actually correspond to our current position. So they're just kind of like a tracker of some sort. Interesting. Not particularly useful at a first glance, but yeah. With U active, heading out here, it breaks our coin counter. I'm not gonna bother, but if we go to collect the coin, it stays static. It doesn't really change. Like, that just means our coin counter is just completely broken. Not ideal. Now, if we head out here, see that? Yeah. With R active, every other blink will turn one of our eyes green. Alright. So, next up, we have O. And this is something that will make you go, oh! It's right out here, we just gotta go. Jumping up's always kind of difficult, but yeah, the work building is just gone. The key is still there, we can see that kind of easily, but you know, with the work building gone, there's like literally no way to reach it anymore. Which leaves the computer room and one other area as the only accessible places. We'll get into that area later, of course, as well with most things in this in these early episodes. But P. This one is also really close, so I don't think I really need to cut. But yeah. Oh dear. I don't like the lag. But if we go in, we can see that the phone is ringing. No way to interact with it, it's just ringing. Yeah. But, you know, interesting that's a thing. Like, of course I was like spamming the interact button, and in multiple videos it is seen, like, it's... In any, like, I think the phone rings at least twice, and both times the people, like, try to fucking interact with it best they can. It's just not something you can do. But anyways. Alright, back here. A is a pretty quick one. Just press it, head out, and... Interesting. It just makes our cursor whatever the hell that is. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means. It's not completely useless, because it gets referenced in probably the most unexpected place. But, yeah. And then S. S is an interesting one. If we head out now and just kind of look up at the sky, it's dark, kind of black. It's not black, it's like a very dark blue, kind of like a night atmosphere, but it gets stranger if we head into the toy world. Here it's completely white. And jumping down gets, like, it's kind of odd too. Yeah, strange thing. Also, I don't know if you have noticed, but a lot of these are kind of like weird little... You know how when you're on tech support, they'll go like, press, it's S for Samantha, B for Bronwyn, that kind of thing. We can kind of see something like that. It's not every single one, but like E for Echo, T for trees, P for phone, that kind of thing. Oh, the one we just did, S for skybox. Now, what does D do? Well, right. Leaving and coming back in. Why the hell is it being so slow? But that's what caused this thing to appear. And if we head in, well, this is of course something that deserves its own episode. But if we try and exit, it force restarts. Yeah, we'll be back in a second. Alright, back here, going for R and then F. Well, it's another thing that isn't visible immediately, but here we are in the forest world, and if we head over here a bit, the fish are gone. There's no fish visible anywhere, which is very interesting. But that's not the only place fish will disappear from, because I don't need a cut for this one since it's so short. You might be able to guess what I'm actually going for. Up. Alright, I'm doing it the other way. Hell yeah. The fish are gone. And we have a shovel easily accessible. We can take it, but I don't see any point since I'm not using it this episode. I won't be using it for a while. We'll talk about when we need it, but yeah, so that means F for fish. Alright, neat. Really tempted to cut, but I'm like right there, so. So, what about G? G is one that's really subtle. If we go over to these things and just kind of do a triple jump off of them, then it becomes immediately apparent. We fall a lot slower. And in fact, we can actually use that in Toy World if we jump off the edge with this active. It sends us to the hub, of course, once we get there. And you can use a slow falling as a really easy way of getting on top of the work building. Yeah. Hell yeah. So if you're ever having trouble with the work building parkour, just press the G key. Now, what does H do? We're gonna have to take a trip back to the forest for this one. Alright, we're back here. Almost where we're heading. If we head to the weird clock and painting in the woods, then suddenly, the painting has the picture of a house on it. Now, you might see this and go, so H is for house. Does that mean the H doesn't... Does that mean the house will appear somewhere else? You're right about that. You are right. But it's not where you think it will be. We'll cover it. We're, of course, going to have an episode dedicated entirely to the house. But... yeah. For now, let's just head back and see what J does. We're gonna have another lengthy detour, so I'm gonna cut right after that, but like, might as well show myself pressing J for completeness sake. See you in the well. Now, if you watch my well video, you already know what happens here. But this is a video about like all the random events, so like, it does not hurt one bit to show it off. I think that'll... Oop. This way, actually. With J active, the bars are gone. Which means we can head into this little area of the well. Now, might as well make up for lost time in showing this like the second time by... If we head here, we can see that the bars here are already open too because we pressed J. Nothing's really different. See if I can get the weird jump. Oh, I didn't. Sometimes you can get a weird jump there, but yeah. Nothing's really different here, it's just a normal thing, but like, it's interesting to note. Anyway, back to the thing. Alright. Now, we're gonna actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover two at once to make this a little faster. So, yeah, they're not really related to each other, but might as well. So, going for K first. If we decide to do the work parkour again, I don't imagine I will need to cut, but who knows, maybe now that I've said that, I will need to. Yeah, see? First time I fucked up on camera, I think. Yeah. Oh boy. There we go. It's a wind-up key. It replaced the key, and unlike the key, this actually does have a very clear usage in game. But that'll be covered in a future episode. As for L, having L active will cause the computer to be gone. It doesn't really do much for us, but just lock us out of the toy world in there. But you can actually use this for something interesting, I guess, by heading to the forest world computer, or at least where the forest computer was, and we can use this to actually see the painting behind it up close. Not that we can really use it for much. Like, I'm not really sure what it is, but hey, still, cool thing. Now, for some quick ones. Oh boy, this one might be 30 minutes long. Didn't want it to be that long. Alright. So, Z, we press Z and leave. You might already notice something off, but if you aren't, heading back out, if I can, there we go. Yeah, it turns out Z just mirrors the entire map of the game. And we can see that work backwards is Crow, which is a silly little Easter egg. Something that you wouldn't really think of. Fun fact, first time I played this game, that effect was active, and I was like, huh, why is everything mirrored? That's kind of a weird choice, but I mean, alright. Then, okay, sure, X and C at once, that's fine. X causes our face to just be completely gone, which can be kind of unsettling. Not anything horrible, it's just like, huh. While C, just heading into Toy World for a quick second. God, I should have walked through here with the mirror effect active, it's trippy as hell. The coins are gone. C just straight up removes coins, which is interesting, definitely. These effects are pretty like all over the place. Like some of them will affect you personally. Some of them won't do anything for you. Like won't have any effect beyond cosmetic. Some of them can be actually really helpful, while others just make certain things literally impossible. V is a quick one though. V puts this vase next to the computer room entrance. V for vase. Silly. Hi, I just had the biggest fuck up of my life. For y'all, that should be a seamless cut, but for me, it's been kind of a road. So, first attempt at the recording, you know, the one that's attached to everything you just watch for this area, it kept freezing when there's a lot of stuff coming up that requires visuals. And then second attempt, I just ran out of space, had to delete some stuff. Because these Crow videos have been oddly size intensive, and I'll have to like dig around and see what else I can delete after this, because like, yeah, when you're running a channel like this, you run out of space quickly. I'm glad I have a 1 terabyte hard drive, but like, oh boy. Anyway, yeah, we're just covering the last three all at once, B and M. Now, N is immediately obvious. There's coordinates again. That also correspond with where we go. Much like, you know, the Y button. Y button does the exact same thing. which is really interesting. Now, M. This is what M does. Crawlers. In every single window. And I mean every single. Maybe not a differently shaped one, but if we go inside, they're in them all the same. Now, that's what N and M do, but what does B do? No music. Just no music. The music always has a slight delay before it starts playing. Because, you know, it's just kind of weird like that. And every time I feel like it's just not going to kick in and something's going to happen. But that never happened. And then while I was figuring out what all the computer keys do, it just did happen. Of course, the music's the only thing that changes. Nothing else happens because it's disabled. But, like, if you're not expecting it, it can definitely throw you off. However, that's not the only thing that happens when B is active. Because, of course, there's another major world. Now, you might be thinking, wait, but the forest doesn't really have any background music, does it? It's just kind of ambient track. What is it, ambient's gonna be gone now? Well, you'll see in just a minute. Also, the crawlers being active here always kind of like makes me scared for some reason. But yeah, not gonna really talk about this for a few episodes. We're only here to show that the backs of the crawlers are modeled too. They have backs to them. That's about it though. Now, going in here, this time we do have music. And it's not like this is our first time hearing this. Because if we go through some of the videos, you can hear the music track playing in the forest areas. With the exception of Adam Butcher's video, of course, the documentary. Now, in fact, I don't really know why I questioned the lack of music until about the point I figured this out. I was always like, okay, just ambient track, that's fine. I just never really thought about it. It was only once I, got this. It was definitely interesting to find out. And this isn't the only reason we're here, because if we pause and check the coordinates again, yep, everything seems in order. Until we move a bit, and check again. And check again. And check again, check again, check again. Suddenly, there's static. This is something, probably for the last time, this is something we're gonna talk about in a video of its own. But if you want to investigate it yourself, I'll give you a little hint. There's a difference between the Y coordinates, the buttons corresponding to the Y button, and these coordinates, which we just activated by the N button. There is one single difference between those two. If you can find it, it will help you massively. And they might not be the only keys you need active. But that's pretty much it for right now. I think I am just gonna head back, and I think I'm pretty much done with this episode for now. We have one final thing to talk about, though. We're done with the random events, but we have an elephant in the room. This computer. Of course we have this thing here. And, if you're not new to the ARG, you might know exactly what this is. So, of course, when the game starts up, we have that with a single thing on it. Only the first line filled out. But this is also visible in Adam Butcher's video when he started up the game. And when going back to all the other videos, finding the ciphers, decoding them, you can see that they all fit in here at specific lines, easily fit in based on how long they are. So, maybe that's what we have to do here. In fact, we already have one of the lines. Right there. And this translates to father. We have the first line given to us, but we have exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 blank lines. So we have to find 15 different ciphers and just fill this out as we go, where we will have a full note that we can then type into the computer. That's what the rest of this series is going to be about. Probably 16 episodes, unless something truly unexpected happens. 15 episodes where we go hunt down all of those codes and get them in one by one. And of course, covering anything miscellaneous that, doesn't really need an episode of its own, but would still be nice to fit in one of those code episodes. And then we're going to have one final 16th episode after that, where we input the entire code and end the game. But that's it for this episode. That's just the game plan for the rest of the series. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. I hope this informed at least some of y'all on how this shit works. This is probably going to be the longest video. I don't imagine anything else will be as long, although there are some similarly complex things. We'll get to that when we get to that, but yep. Thank you for watching, and good night!